Welcome to Blue Talks.
Hi, it's so great to be here at Northwestern. Spent 22 years in Chicago, so I feel like I'm back home. Well, one of the things that's really challenging today for leaders is the economy, employee engagement, well-being, and then you have challenges like tariffs and other industry things going on and the rapid pace of technology. This is why when I hiked the Appalachian Trail, I was able to identify really key learnings that helped me so much as a leader in business. So 2,200 miles on the Appalachian Trail. A lot of people here in the Midwest have no clue what the Appalachian Trail is. Well, it goes from Maine to Georgia, or in most cases, Georgia to Maine, because most people start in the South, so they can get a head start and finish in Maine before it snows. One thing about it, though, it is steep. In fact, it's the steepest of the three major north-south trails. It goes 2,200 miles, like we talked about, but it's also a really steep incline. And when you have that shortest distance of the three trails and the steepest incline, or the most elevation, it's really crazy. And it's like going up and down Mount Everest 16 times. Do the math. 29,000 feet times 16 times, up and down and up and down and up and down. And that's what we felt like. So I did it with my daughter. It was her idea. And we did it because we wanted to raise money and awareness for Parkinson's disease, because my husband, her dad, has Parkinson's. Now, just a little bit more about the trail. It's big. It's a big deal to climb it. So as you may know, it's not like you're walking a little bit and then you go to a hotel. You walk a little bit and then you pitch a tent. Or if you're lucky, there's a shelter nearby. So it's not only a lot of distance and a lot of elevation, it's also a lot of planning, a lot of work. And but people say, oh, did you have fun? Fun. I'm not sure I'd use that word on the trail, but it was the experience of a lifetime. So, got to prepare, right? Like any leader, if you're going to do a project, you got to prepare. You got to get ready for it. And for us, that was a lot of work. And people say, oh my gosh, that's a ton of stuff. Well, not quite a ton, but my backpack was 40 pounds when I started, and my daughter's was 35. Then we kind of rejuggled things because she's more capable of carrying that weight than I was. So the tools, where to even start? Like, what do you need to take on the trail? Well, we talked to people, we asked people, we watched their gear videos. We did a gear video, and it's our number 3rd viewed video out of the 96 that we did. Number 1 was when we finished. No, number 1 is when we did one that was the whole trail in less than an hour. So if you really want to watch, the story, but don't have time to watch 96 videos, Appalachian Trail for Parkinson's disease, the number 1 viewed video is the whole trail. So that was fun. But we tried to get as much information as we could. We spent 3 days at the REI flagship store in Denver. Our daughter was doing an internship out there for veterinary medicine. And, we just went out there and just parked ourselves with the wonderful, delightful salespeople at REI. So besides the tools, you need to have some training, right? You're not going to have all these great tools and they're magically going to work. So one thing that I needed to do, I was afraid that my back wouldn't be able to hold, and carry that much weight for the amount of time it takes to do the trail. So I started putting hand weights in my backpack and got up to 35 pounds before I left. But Minnesota, where I come from, is pretty flat. So I'm looking for every little bump or ditch that I can walk through to build up the muscles that I needed to climb that kind of elevation. My daughter's a D1 athlete, actually a 2-sport D1 athlete. She's 6 foot tall. She's pretty fit, and she was doing her internship out in Denver. So she had the opportunity, to practice a little bit. but still you don't have a whole lot of time. So the best way to train for the trail is to hike the trail. And they talk about it. It takes a while to develop your trail legs. But I'm like, well, what about your trail abs and your trail arms and your trail brain? It's more than just your legs that are carrying you along. One thing, though, that was absolutely amazing along the trail is the quiet and the beauty and the peace that the trail offered. I get so much energy from being out in nature. And there were times it was just remarkable. And it was so quiet. It was so gentle. But then there was other times it wasn't all that gentle. You can see in the one picture, yeah, I fell a few times and got some injuries, but I survived and it was great. So if as a leader of your team, you give them the right tools, but if you don't help them learn how to use those tools, take AI, for example. I mean, it's a lot of fun to play with and you learn by doing, but you do have to learn by doing and you have to use it and train and ask people and get advice because you don't have to know it all. You know, that would be impossible. And isn't it a lot more fun to collaborate with your teammates and learn from each other and share your mistakes and share your discoveries? So as a leader, you need to foster that kind of environment for training for your teammates. The other thing that was really great about the trail was the mental training that it offered. It was a challenge. It was tough. You hike, we did an average of 14 and a half miles a day, 14 and a quarter. And you know, carrying that 35 pounds. And it was so quiet, but what are you going to think about? I mean, there's a lot of thoughts running through your brain, but are they good thoughts? Are they positive thoughts? Or are they, oh crap, I'm tired. Oh my goodness, this trail is tough. Oh, there's another root. I feel like I'm going to fall and trip on that root. Oh, guess what? I fell and tripped on that root. And then my head hit another root. And your head makes a really weird sound when it hits a root. That's just strange. So then, but you get yourself up, you get yourself to the ER, you know, you're bleeding a bit, you know, but you go on. And it just takes that kind of mental toughness. And I think that's true for teams too. But in order to be mentally tough, you have to understand the purpose and why you're doing it and getting your team to understand and buy in and have the opportunity for them to influence that purpose. Well, what if we did this? Wouldn't it be better if we did that? Those kind of bits of feedback make a bigger, stronger team, more engaged employees, which is one of the number one problems facing companies today, is the lack of engagement of their employees. They're working remote. They're not building relationships. They're not there to, you know, get that pat on the back and have those casual conversations by the coffee machine. So leaders have to build that kind of culture, even though it's extra hard these days to do that. So just the ability to really depend on not only the tools that we had and the training that we had, but most important, the team. So I'm a strong business person, right? I'm currently a CEO of a company I founded. I've been COO of a behavioral health company. So I get the importance of well-being and fostering a team that's providing well-being solutions and services. Well, the team's got to have well-being in order to do that, or it's pretty false. It's pretty, you know, kind of icky culture-wise if they're not in a good place. But having a team that is led by the right person is so important. And so here I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm the mom. I'm older and I'm wiser and I've got all this business experience. Business experience? Are you kidding me? What good does that do on the trail? Are you going to negotiate price at the gas station for the snacks you're buying? Nah, probably not. But I needed somebody, or we needed someone on our team that was most capable, most suited to lead our team. And our daughter being, you know, more athletic, more in shape, much more research she did, asked so many people. It was really by far the best decision to have her lead the team. But then I have to sit back and let her lead, you know, and have to encourage her to lead and ask her questions that help her to make a decision to do the right kind of leading. So that was really an important decision as we moved on through the trail. And it wasn't easy for me to do that. The other part of our team, a group that the trail calls Trail Angels, and it's the community. We had 25 perfect strangers reach out to us, mostly through comments in social media, through our YouTube channel and on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, a hurricane is coming. We think you're in the area because of the cadence that you're posting your videos. We think it's going to be bad. We live at this crossroad, or we can pick you up there. Tell us when you'll be there. And come to our house. Please, please, please come to our house. I've been practicing my vegetarian recipes so that I can feed you the way you want to be fed. And guess what? I have not only one warm, dry bed, I have two. You can each have your own bed in separate bedrooms if you want. I'm like, oh my gosh. My daughter went to, 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of vet school, 1 year of internship, 9 years we were apart. And then we were sleeping on the trail 9 inches apart. That was a little weird. So we would accept these offers. We'd go and get those warm, dry beds. We'd get a home-cooked meal, a shower, clean laundry. Oh my goodness. And then they usually would bring us back to the trail and give us snacks for on the way. It's just, heaven, which is, I think, why they call them trail angels, right? And in business, you have to do the same thing. You have to find your community. I think we forget that people are inherently nice. They're inherently kind. They want to help you. They want to provide this kind of support. So 25 perfect strangers in their home, total of over 40 that helped, gave us rides. When I had an injury, they would pick up my backpack at the beginning of the trail and then drop it off at the end of the day. Okay, we're too far away, or you can't come into our house for whatever reason it was, that was fine. We were totally good with that. But here, let me take care of your backpack so you don't have to carry that weight while you had a debilitating IT band injury. The other thing was, again, the purpose. We had goals. Every leader has goals, right? Wanted to complete the trail and be home by Christmas. We wanted to raise that money for Parkinson's. And then the third one was don't die. And it sounds like a silly goal. It was real because the trail is very treacherous, and I'm not that experienced of a hiker. So I'm also one of 10 women in all time that have thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail at my age. I turned 66 on the trail. My daughter turned 27. So, I had a strong leader, but she also had to encourage me and let me follow and find the right path so I didn't hurt myself every day. I fell down every day. I don't think we had a day where I didn't fall down, but, at least I didn't die. The helmet is in this picture because after the second head injury, 9 stitches, 10 staples, then I got the helmet. And that helped. That saved me because I had another big gash inside of the helmet, but I didn't have to go to the ER for that one. So it protected me. But it was really a great, awesome experience. If you would like any further input or guidance or help as a leader in using and applying these lessons of team training and tools, let me know. I'd be happy to help.